possibilities. Take the first step towards your dreams. Empower your mind with positive thoughts. Achieve more. Make a difference in someone's life today. Impossibility is nothing.
Welcome to the Achievers Book Club. I'm Sarah Undu and I'm thrilled to be your guide as we delve into the pages that inspire, challenge and propel us towards greater achievements. Broadcasting live from our School of Eloquence studio here in Ikoyi, Lagos, we believe that within every book lies a world of possibility waiting to be discovered. Today, we are not just reading the book, we are engaging with a timeless classic, a blueprint for success that has transformed millions of lives across generations. Our book in focus is the legendary Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, published in 1937. This book distills the wisdom of successful individuals of Hill's era into 13 powerful principles. It's not just about financial wealth, it's about achieving anything you set your mind to, and it continues to be a cornerstone for anyone striving for mastery in their lives. This book teaches us that true wealth begins in the mind. To help us dissect the profound principles of Think and Grow Rich, we have a very special guest in our studio today. He's an icon in the motivational space, a true beacon of inspiration, Mr. Motivator. Welcome to the Achievers Book Club, Mr. Motivator.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So we're going to dive right into the book. So Napoleon Hill begins with desire and emphasizes on a definite purpose. He says whatever the mind can conceive and believe,
That's right.
it can achieve. How crucial is this concept, especially for Nigerians navigating our unique landscape of opportunities and challenges?
Absolutely. You picked those two words very intentionally. The Nigerian space, opportunities, lots of opportunities, but again, we have a tremendous ton of challenges. Nigeria could not have provided us with a better testing ground for the principles from Napoleon Hill's books, because it first highlights the importance, the central idea of thoughts being things. We must have a vision, we must have dreams, we must mentally prefigure what we want, and then says, once you've thought about it, you now need to fuel that engine with the power of your desires. So how can Nigerians navigate all of this? First and foremost, no matter how challenging the Nigerian space is, it must never stop you from dreaming. No matter how challenging the Nigerian space can be, it must never discourage you from thinking out of the box. Because in as much as we have so many challenges, inherent in those challenges are the opportunities. So for instance, there's electricity challenge in Nigeria. There are also challenges in the area of education. There are challenges all across. Take business, for instance. Solutions to business is transportation. All of these are problems. How do you create solutions to those problems? By thinking. Someone thought about the idea of delivering meals. Rather than people going through the stress of visiting the fast food restaurants, someone came up with an app and said, okay, Glovo, for instance, is an idea. Chowdeck, for instance, is an idea. Why? Because those ideas were designed to surmount the challenge of accessibility. And today I read somewhere that in Ibadan alone, through Chowdeck, a particular amala joint, there used to be an amala joint, has done a turnover in excess of ₦1 billion.
Wow.
That's Ibadan. We're not talking Lagos. It shows you that as challenging, who would have imagined that in Nigeria, as difficult as it has been, especially in the most recent of times, people will still order amala in Ibadan using chowdek. Somebody thought about it, saw the problem, but saw the problem, that challenge, as an opportunity, and felt, well, I could create an app and I could bridge that gap. That is an example of how we can navigate the challenging space in Nigeria while still exploring the opportunity based on the principle of Napoleon Hill's book, which is first, thoughts are things. Imagine, allow your thinking capacity to look critically at your challenge and ask questions. What can we do? Imagine yourself dreaming about what is possible, maybe through the use of your talent, through the actualization of your own potential. Just think through it. And then secondly, don't stop there. Develop that desire, that hunger to materialize, to actualize, to implement, to execute. That is how Hill's first two principles in his book, thoughts are things, the central idea, and then begin with the power of your desire. And across every strata in the Nigerian socio-economic space, there are tons of opportunities that one can apply this towards.
So it's about translating a vague wish. First of all, having a desire, then translating it into something that...
No, the desire comes after. Okay. First, Napoleon Hill's view is that as a man thinks, so he is, that we become what we think about, and that thoughts are actually very tangible. But sometimes those thoughts can be triggered by the challenges in your environment. Sometimes that's the way they come. Sometimes you can independently, uniquely, on your own, conceive of an idea, conceive of a dream, conceive of a concept, and decide to go for it. In other words, Napoleon Hill believes that first and foremost, paint the picture of the world that you want to create. And after you've done that, desire can come in. There is no point having a desire without a pre-direction. There is no point. I mean, you can imagine having a desire and you are in this vague environment. There is no clear direction to channel that desire towards. It will not make sense. So dream first, and then ignite the energy and the passion within you towards attracting or actualizing those dreams. In fact, the dream should trigger a burning desire within you to go for it. Hill does not, however, rule out the fact that in all of us as human beings, inside all of us, there is that innate hunger to be something special, to do something special, to achieve something exceptional. He doesn't rule that out. That's also part of the desire that we all have. But again, what is the essence of the desire if there is no vision, if there is no direction, if there is no expectation, if there are no goals? So that's why thoughts are things, and thoughts must start the process towards success.
Wow, absolutely. That's a great one, Mr. Motivator. Mr. Motivator, another powerful principle is the mastermind alliance, the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people for a definite purpose. So, in a society like Nigeria, where community is so central, how can individuals truly leverage this concept for achievement? It
is true that community is a very central part of Nigeria, but the way I look at how community works in Nigeria is that it is too social. Too social in the sense that if you're married, you have a family, and your mother lives close by, you can bank on her help to support you with child upkeep, for instance. If you're facing an economic challenge and it becomes knowledge to most of the people in your ecosystem, everybody bands together. That's fine. So it provides us with this, what I would call unseen social safety net. That has always been the traditional African approach to community. But Napoleon Hill is saying to us in his book, Think and Grow, with reference to the Mastermind Alliance, that now is the time to elevate beyond the social capital of community to mental capital of collaboration. So you see that it ties us back into the first principle, the central idea about thoughts, thinking, visioning, developing that mental capacity. To say, look, imagine the fact that you enjoy the support of your siblings because they live close by or they live within the range of support for you. They can be there to help you socially. There's a wedding, everybody bands together, we all go there. There is a crisis in the family, someone is willing to stay off work and be there to sit in and all of that. Just imagine that we enjoy all of that and we become so closely knit at that communal social level. Think about the exponential value that we could all derive, especially in adding value, creating economic possibilities and great wealth, if that synergy was a mental one.
Absolutely.
Was a mental one. Your knowledge, your inspiration, coming, collaborating with mine. So what would have taken me 2 years to do, we cut the time and make it even shorter and faster to accomplish within 2 months. That is the essence of Hill's view about how we can truly be communally successful. In other words, nobody actually succeeds alone.
True.
Success requires partnerships. It requires collaboration. In fact, if I may borrow from John C. Maxwell's book on leadership, it talks about the dream and the team to realize the dream. No dream can succeed or materialize without the support of having a team. So the concept of a mastermind alliance is saying build your own team. Find people of like minds. That's the point. People of like minds. Even the book of Proverbs says it. He that walks with the wise shall be wise. Iron sharpens iron. Find people of like minds and then ally. Ally with them, associate with them, build partnerships, share what you know and learn what you don't. And in that way and manner, because there is a common interest in success or in succeeding, we can aggregate and compound the effort of thought, of ideas, of insights, and reap the benefits in far more exponential manners than would have achieved alone. But the key is, are we thinking in the same direction? Are we thinking the same concept, the same principles? Do we share a collective disposition towards how to become more successful, more productive in life? That is what that alliance is about. So I encourage Nigerians to collaborate more. I think we see a lot of that amongst the musicians. They call it collabo. They collaborate more, and you can see how it's helped many persons or many musicians, artists would never have learned about, but they collaborate. So it's not just collaboration in terms of, okay, somebody is higher up there, so I want to just latch onto them so that I can derive some advantage to lift me. You can also contribute. It's a collaboration of collective contribution. Not you being a leech. Not the opportunistic mentality of using others, of riding on the crest, on the wave of others, but saying, I come into this with some value. It might be from my experience or my expertise or exposure, whatever it is. And you come in with yours as well. But think of what we can create together. So we've got to think more in terms of that. But let's transform that capital from our social communal support system and begin to make it look more mental, more ideas-centric, ideas-driven. That will make a world of a difference.
Oh, yeah. So, Mr. Motivator, it's not just about networking, but having a strategic, purposeful collaboration.
Absolutely.
With people.
There must be an intent towards it. Why network if you won't, one, be bringing value into that space, and secondly, if you don't share something in common, there's got to be some kind of alignment amongst all the parties coming together.
Yeah, that sparks a lot, Mr. Motivator.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Motivator, no journey to achievement is without its challenges, especially in our dynamic environments.
Yeah.
Hill dedicates an entire chapter to persistence.
Absolutely.
What does true persistence look like? How can we even cultivate it when things actually get tough?
That's perhaps my best chapter in that book, the one I love the most, persistence. I particularly love it because it was a statement from Brian Tracy, one of my good old friends, that inspired me to go take a look at that chapter again. Brian Tracy makes a statement many years ago, and I stumbled on it. He said, anyone that persists and persists and persists eventually succeeds. That inspired me to go take a look at that chapter again, and I grew very fond of it. Now, you're talking about how can we, or what it takes to be persistent, especially in this kind of environment. Number one, believe very well in what you have set out to do. That's non-negotiable. Don't have feelings for it. Morph the feelings towards your idea, your vision, your goals, your dreams into commitment, meaning that you have mentally resolved. No negotiations. I want to build this business. No negotiation. I want to go into this partnership. No negotiation. I want to write this book. No negotiation. I want to study this course. I'm over 60, but no negotiation. I want to go for my master's degree or go for my first degree. Because that resolution is key to bolstering you, strengthening you for the setback you are about to encounter, because you will. That is what opens the door. That is what necessitates persistence. That is what necessitates persistence. You must first and foremost resolve that, wait a minute, I've made up my mind. I'm going to do this. It means that there'll be good days and there'll be bad days. There'll be days you feel good about it. You feel hippie. Wow, today was a very good day. I felt so fantastic about it. I felt so great about it. There'll be those days. But there'll probably be many more days where you feel so cold, so downhearted, and just wonder, come on, I don't really feel up to it today. But it is that resolution, that resolved mind, that made up mind that will pick you up on those days when you don't have any feelings that are good and upbeat about your goals, your visions, your dreams, your aspirations. Why? Because you've laid the foundation of persistence by resolving from the beginning. So when we resolve, we are effectively shielding ourselves, preparing for challenges of setbacks, discouragements, difficulties, because our mind is already made up. Okay, so there's a difficulty, that's fine, we're not going back. Let's find a way around it.
Being flexible.
Absolutely. Or let's find a way through it, underneath it, above it, or let's ask for additional hands. You watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. When you get stuck, they give you lifelines. They tell you, you know what, phone a friend, or try your 50-50, or ask the audience. There's got to be something for you to at least summon to engage that setback in order to keep the journey alive till you get to the destination. And that is also the case. Recently, we've had very difficult economic challenges, significant downturns across the entire space. But I've seen so many people who have continued to pursue their visions, continued in spite of the difficulties, in spite of the inclement weather, in spite of the challenges of people. You're running a business, you employ people, they are proving to be a challenge, proving to be difficult, and then some people leave. You've got to go back and rehire. That's persistence for the business owner. You hire and rehire and fix the issues, you keep it going until the business gets to where it is stable, it is profitable and productive. That's persistence. You failed one of the diets in your professional exams. You go back and retake it. You failed, you go back and evaluate what happened. What did I get wrong? What did I miss in the last one that I can fix in the subsequent one? You see, it is not your emotions that will carry you through those moments. It is that disposition that you resolved from the beginning.
The resolution. Yeah.
Absolutely, from the beginning. That is why Napoleon Hill's work, the first chapter is so central, because it deals with the mind. Thoughts are things. If you don't get that right from the beginning, it will make it very difficult to apply most of the other principles in the book, because the mind then sets its course and says, this is my commitment to success, to achievement, to making it in life, to being the best that I can be. And so, come what may, I'm able to get back in the game after I've taken a beating, and I continue, make the necessary course corrections, and keep on going until I get to my destination. So in the Nigerian context, for me, the most important value that can help anyone deal with the challenges in terms of how long they can hold out till they reach their desired goals is to first conclude that, hey, this is for real, I'm going to do it. And then as you face challenges, anticipate the challenges. You're into sales. Always anticipate there will be no's. You anticipate many more no's than yeses. And so when you get a no, let it motivate you, let it fuel you to go back and figure out, why did they say no to my proposition? Okay, if this was the reason, can I address it? Can I give a better offer? And then get back in the game. Again and again and again and again and again and again. You're learning and you're returning to the scene of that challenge. That's how it works for a salesperson. For a teacher, you might have a student who's struggling. You've tried one technique, it hasn't worked, the student seems to be falling behind. Don't be discouraged. Don't fold your arms and say, well, I've done my best. That's one key deceit that most people fall for. Well, I tried. There's the movie Star Wars, and I got this statement from that movie. I can't remember which of the characters that said it, but he said, there is no try, there is only do. So when we keep on in the Nigerian context, oh, I've tried, that is not enough. You must keep doing. So for that student that you're the teacher, you must be persistent. Okay, this methodology hasn't worked. Let's try something else. Maybe I need to study my student more to understand their capabilities and their interests. Or maybe I need to adapt my techniques. You continue until gradually you arrive at a model that could eventually not only solve that problem, but become a model that could go on to do bigger things. Why? Because you persisted. You never gave up. That is the mentality. And we can apply this. Everyone can apply this across all fronts of human endeavors. But resolve, make up your mind from the beginning, and then keep going at it, keep course correcting, and find motivation from the setback. It should fuel you. It should energize you to say, okay, rather than feeling embarrassed, I'll try again. That's the way to go. That's how persistence works.
Wow. Wow, Mr. Motivator.
And we've got Napoleon Hill to thank for that amazing work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Motivator, this has been an enlightening and powerful discussion. Thank you so much for sharing such an incredible insight with our Achievers Book Club viewers.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
What a profound dive into Think and Grow Rich. Now, let's turn these powerful principles into tangible action with our Achievers Challenge for this week. 1. Clarify your definite purpose. Take 15 minutes to write down your #1 most important goal with absolute clarity. Be specific. What is it? When will you achieve it? And what will you give in return? Read it aloud morning and night. 2. Identify your mastermind. Think of at least 2 people, either your friends, colleagues, mentors, whose unique skills and perspective could help you achieve your definite purpose. Reach out to one of them this week to discuss a collaborative idea. 3. Practice 1% persistence. Choose one small task related to your goal that you often procrastinate on. Commit to doing it for just 15 minutes every day without fail this week. It's about consistency, not intensity. Share your progress using hashtag Achievers Book Club to social media. We want to celebrate your wins. Don't just read about achievements, live it. Small, consistent actions followed by clear purpose are the bedrocks of monumental success. We see possibilities.
Eloquence focuses attention on the message and the audience.
I found it very interesting, exciting, stimulating.
It was very beneficial.
Definitely would learn a lot, a whole lot.
Thank you. The delivery was second to none.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
Speak with power.
And my name is Dr. Edward Bush, one of the co-founders and president-elect of AMEN. That stands for the African American Male Education Network and Development. I want to give a big up and a big shout out to the Achievement Channel for all the great work that you're doing, motivating and inspiring the young people of Nigeria. Keep up the outstanding work, Achievement Channel.
I'm Herb English. I am the president of the African American Male Education Network. Big shout out to the Achievement Channel. Really appreciate all the work that you're doing here and abroad. Thank you so much.
As we wrap up our incredible journey through Think and Grow Rich, the pursuit of knowledge never stops. Next week, we'll shift our focus to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. We'll be exploring the first 3 habits: be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first things first. Get ready to embrace powerful principles for personal effectiveness that will empower your path to success. The pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong adventure. Each new book, each new page opens up a new possibility for growth and impact. Embrace the journey with see possibilities. Thank you for joining me on the Achievers Book Club. Remember, the wisdom you gain from these pages, when applied, transforms your world. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep achieving. I'm Sarah Undu, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Good morning and welcome to Achievement News, your daily source of positive and inspiring stories from around the world. I'm Tracy Dominic, and here are today's top headlines. On today's news, we bring you hope-filled stories from around the globe. First, in Lagos, Lagoon School attends a training program at the School of Eloquence. And on the international scene, a community initiative has successfully planted over 10,000 trees, transforming urban spaces into green oases. Next, in New York, a group of high school students has developed an innovative app to help the elderly stay connected with their families. Our first story focuses on the importance of education, empowering school. Students of the Lagoon Secondary School, Lekki, Lagos, have started a 3-day transformative program for the senior prefects at the School of Eloquence. This 3-day program, which had 20 students and 2 teachers in attendance, the Dean School of Eloquence, Ibon Essien, addressed the prefects in an opening remark, emphasizing the importance of excellence and agility in their various roles. This 3-day program is tailored to enhance the students' proficiency, empower them to become excellent individuals, and thrive in their various roles as prefects at the Lagoon School. And now, in a small town in California, residents came together to rebuild after a devastating wildfire. Through shared determination and collective effort, the community has not only rebuilt their homes, but also created a stronger, more connected town. Such stories of resilience remind us of the power of community and collective action. Now, let's move on to our Business Boost segment. In our Business Boost segment, we highlight Ecotech Innovations, a company dedicated to creating sustainable technology, founded by environmental engineer Laura Green. The company has developed a groundbreaking water purification system that is affordable and efficient. Ecotech Innovation is a shining example of how businesses can thrive while contributing positively to the environment. Now, let's embellish your morning with some positive picks. Here are some uplifting stories and fun facts to brighten your day. Did you know that laughter can boost your immune system? A recent study has shown that a good laugh can increase your body's natural defense mechanisms. In arts and culture, a new mural in downtown Lagos celebrates the city's rich history and vibrant culture, bringing joy to passers-by. And now, in modern technology, a young inventor has created a device that translates sign language into spoken words, opening up new possibilities for communication. These positive picks remind us that there is always something good happening in the world. In our Sporting Inspiration segment, we feature the incredible journey of para-athlete Michael Johnson. After losing his leg in a car accident, Michael didn't just give up on his dreams. Instead, he took up para-sports and recently won a gold medal in the Paralympics. Michael's story is a powerful reminder that determination and hard work can overcome any obstacle. And now we'll leave you with this silver lining as we close today's broadcast. Despite the challenges we face, there is always hope and possibility for positive change. Today, we celebrate the small acts of kindness that make a big difference. From a child's lemonade stand raising money for charity to neighbors helping each other during tough times. These silver linings remind us that there is still goodness in today's world. Thank you so much for joining us on Achievement News. Remember, every day is an opportunity to achieve greatness. I'm Tracy Dominic. See you again tomorrow for another inspiring news right here on Achievement Channel.
Hello there, welcome to Inspire Her on the Achievement Channel. I'm your host, Helen Ongma Odeleye. Today we are talking about becoming your best self, a journey of self-discovery and growth. Join me as we explore the transformative power of self-awareness, goal setting, and confidence building. Get ready to unleash your authentic, empowered, and extraordinary self. I'm joined by two amazing women. First, Jenny Etta. She's an author of The Bathroom and is reminiscing of thoughts and happenstances on entrepreneur and songwriter of Oba Anwoba. She's also a culinary artist who enjoys to help people see themselves better by doing better. She will tell us what that means. We also have Mrs. Keisha Olukorede. She's the Federal Controller of Works, Lagos. She's an engineer and a phenomenal woman doing great work in the Federal Civil Service. Now, let's get the conversation started. Like I said before, we're going to be exploring a couple of areas. We're going to be helping our sisters out there, the women out there, and get them inspired. So let us, first of all, meet you formally and take us on a very short journey, you know, of what you've been doing.
Good morning, Helen, and thank you for having me here. My name is Olukorede Keisha. I'm an engineer by profession. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a business person too, but more importantly, I'm a civil servant. I started a journey to being a civil engineer by going to the Polytechnic in 1984. When I got into Polytechnic, I didn't have somebody to really guide me as to the difference between poly and university. I just came out and my father said, okay, you need to go to school, and then I just took poly form and I went. On getting to poly and coming out of poly, I discovered that there was this huge gap that existed between the BSc and the HND. I got into civil service almost immediately after NYSC. And then I started and I saw that, oh wow, serious dichotomy here. Just parallel lines. You can't cross. After level 14, as an HND holder, you cannot cross. And you can't become director, you can't become what, you can't climb to the zenith of my career. So I said, well, you know what? I opted to get out of school, to get out of the work. I tried my hands on something else, but I wasn't finding fulfillment. My fulfillment was in this engineering. I tried to go to Dubai, sell clothes, sell this, because the difference, they just made it to be too clear, as if you have not gone to school at all with the HND. They made it to look as if I just went to nursery school, not even primary. So I was really, really disturbed. And I know I could do better than what they were offering me. Most of the time, my colleagues will be in the office holding meetings. They won't have solution. It is after the meeting they will come and call me. Keisha, please, there's this thing we discussed. I say, Shibi, you are the engineers. And go solve your problem. They say, please help us, help us. So several times they call for meetings. Then when you go to the meeting, they say, no, they call the engineers. I say, what will I do? So I said, there are no two ways to it. I have to go back to school. And I did my BSc and I had masters. So, and then I came back to the work and I started again. That brought my level back, but I didn't mind. But at least I know I can climb and get to the zenith of my career. This relevance that I'm having now wouldn't have been possible if I'd just followed that path of HND, if I didn't try to improve on myself. A lot of my colleagues were frustrated.
So we're talking about self-discovery, knowing really who you are and what you want to be. At what point really did it occur to you that this is not for me, I need to be there?
That's what I said. You know, as a result of frustration in the line of that technical, I wanted to fall out and then just be a business person and be fulfilled along that path. But I knew something in me, you understand?
Didn't add up.
Yes, I wasn't
satisfied
in that line. So it's only in engineering that I find my joy, my peace, my pleasure and satisfaction. So I said, okay, what do I need? You understand? To now make me fulfilled in this
you went
engineering.
back to school?
So I had to go back to school.
Okay.
So,
congratulations.
And I'm happy. A lot of my colleagues have retired now. Because that level 14 will have been the bar and the frustration that comes with it. Okay. I wouldn't have been this relevant. Okay. So,
and that's it. Relevance.
Yes.
Relevance is key.
Yes.
And when you self-discover yourself, you become more relevant to society.
Yes.
Okay. So let's come to you. Tell us your story. Where are you coming from?
Okay. Again, my name
as
is...
brief as possible.
Oh, my name is Jenieta, as already introduced. And my story is a bit deep, I would say. So growing up was not an easy one for me. I had a rough one. It was a really rough start in life. I wanted to become a theater artist. And when the time came, he refused. And it disrupted education for me, so to speak. However, I did not relent, all right? He left the house. At some point, we had to, it just became, a struggle in life, so to speak. There was that point where, because I needed to go to school, I just wanted to go to school. I would always, go and hustle, put money together to go to school. But it would come from nowhere, after all done. And then he would just, begin to talk to frustrate me out of, school. For a young child who was growing up, it was really traumatizing, I must say. However,
you rose above that.
I rose above that. I was able to, give myself education, so to speak, from, it was not the usual education you're used to, but for every